All right, so the Toronto Raptors are reportedly going to retire Vince Carter's jersey November 2nd, as Vince Carter gets set to go into the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame this year. And it leads to an interesting conversation, and one that we have had around these parts for a while. Vince Carter, it's a weird legacy with the Raptors, because as time goes on, and as, again, like you see the dude behind me, Kawhi Leonard, that guy did his thing for 1 year, and all of a sudden the sins of the past are forgotten. And as you get further away from that, and as the team won playoff rounds and made it to Eastern Conference Finals, and then won a championship, as that stuff happened, the road that we took to get here, it starts to look a little bit more paved with gold than it was. And you start to see more of the highlights and the between the legs and the honey dip and all of the windmill that is still one of the great dunks in the history of people dunking basketballs into rims. And you see all of that and you forget how it ended. You just remember the good times because that's how we're wired and all of those things. And you forget about how frustrating it was at the end where he was like, yeah, I'm not going to dunk anymore. And then he forces his way out in a trade that set the franchise back for years. And reputationally, I think set them back for decades as a place that star players shouldn't go because, well, Vince wouldn't want to be there. Like, why should we? Like, he did all these great things, and then he wanted to leave, so why would I even want to go there? Like, I think reputationally, it set them back. But also, he kept this team above water at a time where the Grizzlies were shrinking. And I get there's a documentary on it, and there's a whole lot of other things going around it, so maybe the narrative of the Raptors would have been folded if Vince Carter wasn't a thing. I do think that maybe gets overblown a little bit, but still, he made this team must see, and he made this team important. He put them on national television. He got them to within one shot in the corner in Game 7 against the Philadelphia 76ers away from making it to the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals. And so to have that go, and then turn around into, I hate this team and I want to leave, that is a little bit difficult to swallow. And when he's that important, it hurt. It really did hurt. And there was a reason why he got booed just relentlessly for like 10 years. And then eventually he just hung around long enough. It was the reverse of Harvey Dent, right? Like you either die a villain or you live long enough to see yourself become a hero. That's kind of what happened. He just played long enough that we were just like, no, it's pretty dope though, right? Like all the, like the woo and the ba-boom and all that. Like that was pretty sweet. Cool. Yeah, no, he's great. It's funny how that like time really did heal that wound. And when you see what he was able to do and how important he was to that franchise at that time, I don't see how this is a bad decision. And I understand like for whatever, like this is the first jersey that you are retiring. And so you like Kyle Lowry is the greatest Raptor of all time. Given like what he did. And then, like he got this team beyond the points that Vince was able to take them to, and then to a championship. And then his performance in the championship clinching game when he scored the first 12 points on his own is the stuff of legends and cements him. It is in pen, not pencil, that he is the greatest Raptor of all time. And yes, like romantically, it would have been best if he could have had his jersey retired first. He also started his career like a decade after Vince. And Vince Carter's going in the Hall of Fame this year. And aside from like the funny Hakeem Olajuwon thing, we don't got many of those, right? And like the Bosch, but like, yes, the timing, it would have been perfect. To like the second Kyle Lowry's jersey goes up, then all of a sudden, all right, yeah, Vince's is there too. And we just do this whole big thing. But the time, like, it doesn't have to work that way. Kyle Lowry is going to get his jersey retired. And it doesn't make it less retired if he is the second one that gets his jersey retired. If you want to build a statue for him outside, go nuts. And he can be the first statue that the Raptors have outside. And then Vince's between the legs dunk can be the second. And we can bring balance and harmony to the universe that way. There are always going to be people who view Vince negatively for how he left Toronto. And that is not an unjustified spot, given all that we just went through about how he did that. But I will say, to just ignore how important he was to this team and to ignore all that he did accomplish with this team and then to ignore what is happening with him as a basketball Hall of Famer, just so that we can wait on Kyle Lowry not playing out the string of his career, I feel like that is just trying to create a scenario that just doesn't work. There is absolutely nothing wrong with Vince being the first jersey retired and for what he did for this Toronto Raptors franchise. So I just wanted to get that out there.